doing right now, the Lakers need to be working as hand in glove as possible with Luka in coordination, finding out what do you want us to do.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
What is up, Laker fans? This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN. We are in full free agency season right now. There are contracts officially being signed, press releases officially going out, including from the Lakers. They are going to be introducing tomorrow DeAndre Ayton and Jake LaRavia as official Lakers tomorrow at a press conference in El Segundo at the facility. Yours truly is going to be there, and I'm sure we at the station are going to be covering that all day as well. We've got an awesome show for you guys tonight at 6:30. I'm going to talk with Mike Garcia, an NBA draft expert who also happens to cover the Lakers. So he pays really close attention to what's going on with this team, and we're going to get his take on the Lakers offseason, but also Adu Tiero, who is officially a member of the Lakers as well. He was a part of, very tangential part, but a part nonetheless of that massive 7-team deal that the main face was Kevin Durant going to the Rockets, but the Lakers got in a little bit on that in ways that aren't particularly important, but they got Adu Tiero officially as part of that deal, and the Lakers traded up not once but twice in the second round, going from 55 all the way up to 36, giving up cash along the way, because it seems like they really wanted to do Tiero, and for what it is worth, unless something has changed since the last time I've seen Mike Garcia talk about Adu Tiero, so does he. He was really excited the last time I saw Mike Garcia talk about Adu Tiero. He was describing him as a potential first-round talent and a potential steal for the Lakers at 36. So really excited to get his thoughts. Then at 7:15, going to talk with Sean Ayton. He is the publisher of the Rose Garden Report and the Portland Trailblazers insider for Rip City Radio 620 in Portland. He covers the Blazers very closely. He is with the team in the locker room, stuff like that all the time. And he's got some thoughts on DeAndre Ayton, the new Lakers starting center, that I think are different than at least some of what we've heard about Ayton so far. A lot of what we've heard about DeAndre Ayton's reputation. So you're not going to want to miss this. Sean Ayton, again, covers the Blazers. He has covered the Portland Trailblazers for many, many years, knows his team really well. So we're going to get in that. And, of course, your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Anything you guys want to weigh in on. Funchy's here, DeAndre's here, the kids in the back with the social media are here. But we're going to begin with DeAndre Ayton. Like I mentioned, he is now officially a member of the Lakers. Rob Pelinka in the press the press release that he sent out mentioned that, quote, acquiring a starting caliber center was the top priority for us this offseason, and we believe DeAndre is an amazing solution to that objective and is an ideal player to add to our current core. DeAndre's size, mobility, and athleticism will allow both paint scoring and paint protection. DeAndre's playoff experience as a starter on an NBA Finals team also aligns well with our ultimate Lakers championship aspirations. For those who do not remember, DeAndre Ayton was the starting center for the 2021 Suns team with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, and I believe Mikal Bridges was still on the team, Cam Johnson, all those guys that ultimately lost in the finals to the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis and the gang. But he was a part of a lot of winning that season. And talking about DeAndre Ayton, I'm just going to acknowledge off the bat, there are some reddish flags. If not pure red, deep red, pink with DeAndre Ayton. Maybe a raspberry red, a burnt sienna colored, but it's not as red, I think, as like the sun on Krypton. But we are talking about a red-shaded flag. DeAndre Ayton, former number 1 overall pick, he is largely viewed as a very inherently talented basketball player, but not inherently passionate about basketball. He is not seen as somebody who loves the game, like forget at the level of a Kobe or a LeBron or a Michael Jordan, Giannis we just mentioned, Steph Curry, like some of the all-time greats, which quite frankly I don't think is a fair standard to hold DeAndre Ayton to in the first place. But DeAndre Ayton is not somebody who is seen as particularly passionate about basketball, which leads to him not having a perceived high motor. He's not seen as somebody who maintains his focus consistently on the court, not seen as somebody who cares to get the most out of his considerable talent as he could or as he should. And that concerns a lot of Laker fans. And I've seen a lot of people at this station talking about the Lakers, concerned about that piece of DeAndre Ayton, and I get it. I really do get it. And again, if people want to weigh in, 877-710-ESPN. I understand those concerns with DeAndre Ayton. But I also think the people thinking about it this way are missing the point because they're not looking at this the correct way. This was a massive, massive coup for the Lakers to get DeAndre Ayton. As the great philosopher Scott Kaplan would say, what a fortunate moment we find ourselves in to end up with DeAndre Ayton. This is awesome news, just period. Like, to be blunt, all DeAndre Ayton has to do to make the Lakers better, like as a bare minimum, be better than Jackson Hayes. Like, for real, like as the basement level baseline standard, be better than Jackson Hayes. And at the risk of sounding indelicate about this, DeAndre Ayton should have no trouble beating that standard at all. Like, as long as DeAndre Ayton shows up to the games, what he's done so far in his career is considered by a lot of people to be kind of sleepwalking through it or not really putting everything he can behind it. Even if that is true, he is still averaging 16 and 10 on his career. He has never averaged fewer than 10 rebounds a game in a season. He averaged last year for a Trailblazers team that was not trying particularly hard to win, at least for about 3/4 of the season. 14 and 10 with 3 rebounds on the offensive glass. That is DeAndre Ayton in what many people believe is not caring mode. That is better than what you're going to get from Jackson Hayes, who also was retained, re-signed to the Lakers. For those looking to connect some dots, Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes, they all share the same agent. DeAndre, that is not a coincidence. These are not coincidental events that are taking place right now.
Not at all.
The Lakers. No, not at all. DeAndre Ayton is a legitimate starting center in the NBA. Like, he is a legit starting 5. The Lakers managed to get a legit starting 5 who is a great lob finisher. He can be a very effective rim runner. He is somebody with a solid mid-range game. He is somebody that, while you're not going to run your entire offense through him, he can be somebody that you run some possessions through. He is somebody that can punish switches, punish mismatches in ways that the Lakers have not had at that position since they traded Anthony Davis. And they're getting him for 7 figures a season, giving up nothing in the process other than money. So the center that the Lakers thought they would need to trade for, whether you're talking about Nick Claxton or Daniel Gafford, even if you like those guys more than DeAndre Ayton, they would have cost assets, whether in players or picks or both. The Lakers now get to keep all that stuff, whether because they want to keep those guys on the roster, whether because they want to make a different trade, whatever. They have more optionality now because they managed to get DeAndre Ayton, a starting caliber center, far better than any free agent center they could have possibly realistically gotten. This is a massive win for the Lakers. And again, I understand the flaws with DeAndre Ayton, and we're going to talk about this later on in the show. Going to definitely talk about it with Sean Highkin, the writer of the Rose Garden Report, covers the Blazers for 6:20 a.m. in Portland. Like, all of those things, I've watched DeAndre Ayton play in his career. I've seen those things. They may not be at the level that I think some people talk about it, but I don't think that they're unreal. I don't think they're made up. But the Lakers, first and foremost, with signing DeAndre Ayton or signing whatever free agent center, the goal is he making this team better? And the answer is hell yes. Hell yes. He is going to make the Lakers better. Does he make them a championship contender? No. But the Lakers were not one move away from becoming a championship contender anyway. If they're going to become a championship contender, it's going to likely require multiple moves. But this is a move that gets them closer than they were before, and they gave up nothing in the process other than money. Like, this is a great, great deal for the Lakers. It just is. And I think anybody either focusing on the negatives with DeAndre Ayton or focusing on the idea that he doesn't make them championship caliber, I just think you're looking at this the wrong way. We're going to table more conversation about DeAndre Ayton in hour 2, but DeAndre Ayton arrived for the Lakers via buyout, and it's kind of buyout season right now for the Lakers. There's one high-profile player who is connected to the Lakers because of a potential buyout with another team, but there's also another player connected to the Lakers with some buyout chatter who is actually on the Lakers. Get into all that coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Dick's Steal Days are happening now. You won't want to miss our biggest sale of the summer. Scorecard members earn a $20 bonus reward on your purchase of $150 or more. Plus 3 days of amazing savings start Tuesday. Check out offers from brands like Nike, Adidas, Hoka, and Stanley. And check back daily for new one-day deals Tuesday through Thursday. Score the season's hottest savings before they're gone on July 10th. Shop in the app and on Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text CAR to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text CAR to 42424. That's CAR to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
It's important to note, Lakers, at least by all appearances, they are trying to win right now. Not just in the future, but like right now with Luka and LeBron, and lest we forget, Luka Doncic, pretty effing good player. You're talking about a top 5 player in the league when he's healthy. That is one of LeBron's co-stars.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
It's like UB40 or something like that.
It is UB40.
UB40.
That's right.
Man, they were big for a minute. UB40. What a time to be alive. Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710.
This is the Dennis Schroeder, too. He keeps on moving.
He does keep on moving. Dennis Schroeder will be a part of the Sacramento Kings.
10 teams, I believe.
10 teams. He's done the color rainbow.
I'm about to say, I see those tweets all the time on Twitter.
He's done the color rainbow, like where he's had a uniform color of Roy G. Biv in the rainbow, where you get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. He's done all 7 with, I think, a few colors to spare. He's probably got a few original colors in there as well.
And also, he would also have color in his hair, too, sometimes.
Yes. He's a real
stripe,
the stripe blonde. Yeah, the stripe blonde, yeah.
He's an interesting dude, man. But he's
got his money.
This time around, I was going to say he got
finally got his money.
As you would say in Germany, he got the Tasche. That's German for the bag. Dennis Schroeder got the bag. He got the Tasche.
Finally.
Definitely got the Tasche. Reminder, in about 15 minutes, going to talk with Mike Garcia, draft evaluator and somebody who covers the Lakers. He is very excited, unless he's changed his mind. Last I've seen him tweet about this or heard him talk about this, about Adu Tiero and the Lakers landscape in general. Going to get into that. Then in about an hour, we're going to talk with Sean Hyken, who covers the Blazers for AM 620 in Portland, also the Rose Garden Report, his site. Get into some DeAndre Ayton. I want to talk about Bradley Beal and LeBron James, 2 very different players, both connected in different ways to the Lakers through buyout chatter. But real quick, going to take a call. Jay in the IE. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Jay?
Oh, well, thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Sure.
Look here, sir. Let me scale of 1 to 10. How would you think about Ben Simmons being on this team? Inexpensive, not commanding the max dollar deal. Offensively, we know where he's at, but defensively, Ben is still one of the best players in this league. So, scale of 1 to 10, Mr. Kamenetzky, what would you think? And I'll take it off there. Thank you so much for the phone call.
I appreciate that, Jay. As the roster is currently constructed, I would give it about a 4, because they've already got too many guys off the bench that are defense first, whether you're talking about Vando, whether you're talking about Jordan Goodwin. They're missing scoring pop as it is. If you add Ben Simmons to that mix, I think you're starting to get into a second unit that becomes borderline unplayable. Jackson Hayes or Maxi Kleber, depending on who backs up DeAndre Ayton, like, they both need their offense created for them. I know Simmons can do a bit of that, but Gabe Vincent is more of a defensive threat than a scoring threat. If maybe the Lakers made some moves, or say added Bradley Beal post buyout, something like that, if the buyout happens, maybe I could get into Simmons, but for the roster as currently constructed, I don't like it. I think he's too redundant for what they have. Real quick, Rob in Melbourne. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Andy. How are you?
Good.
It's great to talk to you guys. I'm watching you guys on YouTube and listening on YouTube, obviously. A little bit like the last caller, I was thinking about Simmons obviously being a native out of Melbourne.
I was going to say, he's one of your dudes.
Wondering what other moves you thought possibly we could make. I'm a big Reeves fan, but I also think we could potentially get something if we traded him, and I'm wondering what else you think we might need. So I'm a massive Lakers fan. Got to get over there and see a game one of these days, but for now I'm stuck in winter in Melbourne.
Well, first of all, I've been to Melbourne. I appreciate the call. I've been to Melbourne. It's actually really great. It's a really, really great city.
Was that Crocodile Dundee?
It's a great country, actually, Australia.
I've heard,
it's
but
awesome.
but the they have huge spiders there, which I've heard that's a big problem.
Depends, I think, on which part of Australia you're in. Like, if you're in Sydney, for example, I think your spider exposure.
But if I'm like in the outback or whatever,
right.
then I'm screwed.
Well, you don't strike me as much of an outback guy anyway, Funch.
I'll surprise you. I'll surprise you.
It would be a big surprise. To answer Rob's actual question, as far as Reeves goes, the problem with Reeves right now, if you're looking to move him, is that he's in a walk year. And he's not going to sign an extension with the Lakers or anybody this offseason. You know, he already formally turned down the Lakers extension offer. They offered him the most they could, which was $4.89. The problem is next offseason, Austin can make in the hundreds of millions. Like it's a CBA thing. And Austin has no incentive to sign with anybody this offseason. He's going to want to do it next offseason, which makes him a flight risk, which means you're going to get less in return because you don't know for sure he's going to stay. So if the Lakers were looking to trade Austin, in all honesty, they should have done it before this current offseason. But at this point, it is what it is. I don't think they want to trade him anyway. As far as potential acquisitions for the Lakers, there are two guys right now that there's been a lot of buyout chatter about. The first is Bradley Beal. Reportedly, there's going to be a buyout in the works with the Suns so they can get him and his big contract and his no-trade clause off their books. He would give up some money in the process but escape that tire fire in Phoenix. If this actually happens in a future show I'm going to get into, I have no effing idea what they're doing in Phoenix. I think this is absolutely insane of them to do right now, but that's a story for another show and definitely more of a story for Phoenix than us. But if Bradley Beal was available, he would presumably want to join a contender. The Lakers have been one of the teams linked to Bradley Beal having interest. The Clippers as well, and reportedly the deal that they just made, three-way deal where they get John Collins from Utah and Norm Powell goes to Miami. That was seen by some as a potential precursor to bringing in Bradley Beal and being able to offer him a starting job. Whereas I think if he were to join the Lakers, he would have to be okay with coming off the bench. And in all honesty, if he's not okay with coming off the bench, I would not offer him a contract if I'm the Lakers.
What if Austin Reeves was to come off the bench? He might provide a lot more spark off the bench than a guy like Bradley Beal would do. And plus, he embraced that role at Phoenix. He took on that role of being that sixth man, and he's the one that was like, don't worry, I'll go to that role. I'll take on that sixth man role, try to see if we can provide a spark off the bench as far as his scoring.
I think it's the better role for Bradley Beal on this team, and also with the politics of, for the time being, the Lakers want to keep Austin Reeves long term. At least that's what it seems like. Asking him to come off the bench in a walk year, that could get into some tricky politics as far as...
But there's no guarantee he's going to stay anyways.
There is no guarantee he's going to stay. I think you can also make the argument that Austin Reeves at this stage of his career is a better rounded player than Bradley Beal. I don't think you can start them both. Like, that's the one. One of them would have to come off the bench.
I think Bradley Beal a little bit more well-rounded offensively.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, Reeves has been more of an ascending player than Beal. Like at this, I mean, Bradley Beal's like 32 years old. Austin's 27. But either way, like even if you think Bradley Beal should start and Austin should come off the bench, I would be stunned if the Lakers would go there. Certainly to start things out. And if nothing else, you have to hear from Brad Beal that you're okay with this. Because if he's not okay with it, you can't bring him in because there's a possibility you may need that. Like there's a possibility that you might actually need Bradley Beal to be your sixth man. And I feel like if he's not willing to do that, you should just avoid the headache of bringing him in. Because moving Reeves to that role for the third or fourth time, he's been yanked back and forth between starting, coming off the bench, starting, coming off the bench. I think the politics of it, I don't think the Lakers are going to want to do that. What I think is also, though, interesting about Beal, and we can get into more of this later because there's also the LeBron question with buyouts. Bradley Beal would address a need the Lakers really need with more bench scoring. Because, again, that's the role I would picture him in. But you could argue that a guy like DeAnthony Melton, who the Lakers have also been linked to as a point-of-attack defender, who, can guard ones, can guard twos, can guard threes, and has shown at least some inconsistent but some signs of offense, you could argue that that guy fills more of a pressing need that they can't find elsewhere on the roster than Beal. Like, Beal, I think, is the better player between him and DeAnthony Melton. But even if they need Bradley Beal's skills, they can find it more with this roster as currently constructed than I think someone like DeAnthony Melton's skills, or say if Marcus Smart were bought out. Like someone like that who really can be your point of attack defender for those type of players. So I think that's also what makes this interesting. And if nothing else, it speaks to the idea that the Lakers need to make a few different moves if they want to really be contenders this coming season, like true frontline contenders. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bradley Beal. Like, I don't think they're going to have the ability, at least for the time being, to offer him quite as much money as the Clippers or a couple other teams, but we'll see. We'll see. Either way, he's going to be linked a lot to the Lakers, assuming he gets bought out, and assuming he is bought out, and assuming that he seems to want to play for a contender, maybe on the West Coast. That Bradley Beal chatter is going to be there, and it's going to be interesting to monitor. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Mike Garcia. He is an NBA draft evaluator who also covers the Lakers. I believe he's high on Adu Tiero, thinks that the Lakers got a first-round steal potentially. Going to find out some thoughts on why. If you're holding right now, I will get to you. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hey, it's Mace. In tough times, a lot of people find themselves owing money to the IRS. It can really weigh you down, and you're confused about the right way to handle it. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, they don't help. Tax Relief Advocates want you to relax, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax Relief Advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
Hey Rams fans, it's your quarterback Matthew Stafford here. Join me for Walk United LA at the Rose Bowl Stadium on July 20th. Participants can walk or run to support fire recovery efforts and our most vulnerable LA communities. Learn more at walkunitedla.org. See you there.
Have you checked out the new Park West Bicycle Casino? Only 9 miles from downtown LA, right off the 710? The bike has been reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and 200 table games. On July 1st and July 15th, buy in for $100 and get $100 in Lucky Chips plus $50 in free play chips. ESPN listeners get $30 in match play when they walk in and say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. GAR-001291, 001289, 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-499-6744. 800-499-6744. 800-499-6744.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN.
The Lakers need to be prioritizing what is the best way moving forward with Luka. If Luka wants them to trade everything nailed down right now, you do that. Whatever moves Luka wants, you try to make happen.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Lakers, they didn't draft in the first round in June. Andy Kamenetzky, Lakers Talk 710 ESPN. But they did aggressively move up in the second round. They began with the 55th pick, then traded up twice, using cash both times, to get to pick 36, where they selected Adu Tiero out of Arkansas and Mike Garcia, who both covers the Lakers and NBA draft prospects. At least the last time I saw Mike talk about this, very excited about the move, very bullish on Tiero, and he is joining us right now. Mike Garcia, follow him on Twitter at Canyon Driver. You can also read his Substack, Lakers Draft Scouting, at lakersdraft.substack.com. Mike, how are you, man?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good, good. So before we get into breaking down Tiero, first of all, to clarify, I am correct, right? You're high on Tiero? I don't want to oversell this.
I am.
Okay, good, good. I want to make sure nothing changed like in the last week and a half. But as the Lakers started moving up in the second round, did you get a sense that Tiero was potentially their target?
I thought that they would still be looking at centers, and there were still a couple centers still available that I liked in the draft. However, when I made a draft list of best players available, Adu Tiero was at the very top of my list.
Really? So, like, how high are we talking?
On my list, I had him as high as 13. I know that's unusually high compared to what I've seen with other mock drafts. Other mock drafts had him in the late first or early second round. I saw a few that had him in the lottery, and I was just one of those people.
Okay, what is it about Adu Tiero, who Laker fans, he just got introduced, or he has not been introduced. He's just been signed officially by the Lakers. He's part of the team. He's not able to take part in Summer League, still dealing with some injury recovery, but there's no expectation that he won't be available for training camp, start of the season. What is it about Adu Tiero that you like so much?
So there's two things that really stand out. One is the defensive motor and defensive intensity. This is a guy that is a 6'6" wing, 7-foot wingspan, 220 pounds, really, really athletic, can jump out of the gym, run the floor well. He runs well in transition, but he has the defensive motor to really make himself effective and stay on the floor. There are times where he's been placed on point of attack and on smaller point guards, and it looks like he could just wrap his arms around him. He just really contains. But there are some great defensive recovery plays that I think the Lakers sorely need, where he's coming from the free throw line and recovering all the way down to block the shot at the basket, or he's pressuring the ball handler so much that he forces a turnover and gets out in transition and will finish the play. So The athleticism and defense are really there.
Is this a question in your mind of just intensity and like doggedness, or does his actual defensive technique and approach match that type of energy?
So I think there's more intensity than actual skill level. There's more of a containment kind of defense that he plays with initially, but he is still very capable of forcing those turnovers, hitting up the ball handler, and even protecting the rim, which isn't usually expected out of a 6'6" swing. But if he's the low man on a defensive assignment and he needs to protect the rim and someone's attacking the basket, he won't just always give up the layup. He will actually go ahead and protect the basket overall.
And then offensively, what is his game like right now?
So I had to think of a player comparison, and the best that I could think of, and this will date me a little bit.
Put a pin in that right now, because I plan to get into the comp, but just in terms of describing what he does right now currently.
He is a driver, a slasher, and a finisher at the rim. It looks like he's going to break the basket every single time he dunks. He when he can't dunk at the rim, he has some touch within the paint, 15 feet out, a little bit of a floater touch, some ambidextrous, some ability with either the left or the right hand around the rim as well. So he's just a great finisher, absolutely in the paint.
His three-point percentage, and we're talking with Mike Garcia. He covers both NBA draft prospects and the Lakers. You can follow him on Twitter at Canyon Driver. You can also read his Substack, Lakers Draft Scouting, at lakersdraft.substack.com. His three-point shooting percentage got steadily worse as the volume increased at Arkansas. It was never a huge volume to begin with, but the more threes that he took, the lower the percentage got. What are you seeing with his outside shot, and how much faith do you think that it could get improved even just to like league average?
So I was concerned about the three-point percentage until I learned how much of a growth spurt he had since high school. He basically went from 5'8" to 6'6".
Whoa.
And he wasn't a huge kid in high school. He also had the muscle go along with the height. So now it's like, a little bit of a super suit happening where he's got the suit, he's in this bigger body now, he can jump out of the gym, he can run the floor. I think it's a matter of time before the shooting touch actually kicks in. For 3 years in high school, he shot around 40%, and then the senior year, he shot 27% last time I looked. And I think that's when the growth spurt really starts to kick in. But on a positive side for the shooting, in terms of long two-point percentage, so basically 15 feet and almost to the three-point line, he shot in the mid-40%, which is usually a good indicator of, okay, maybe this is a projectable shot to three-point land.
It's interesting, actually, when you talk about just like the growth and hands and stuff like that. It reminds me a little bit when Shannon Brown was with the Lakers. I did a profile of him for ESPN.com, and he told me about how Shannon had massive hands. Like, they were enormous. Like, Kobe used to talk about being jealous of the size of Shannon's hands. And he used to say that, like, on one hand, they were great for dunking, but for the ball handling part of being a guard, they were borderline too big. And, like, they made it at times difficult for him to, like, actually control the ball and have the handle that he wanted. So it's just sort of, it's interesting to see how it can take guys a little bit of time to kind of grow into their body and discover the best way to use it, even when it seems like on the surface, you know, with basketball, you know, bigger hands, bigger body, bigger frame, taller, it would always be upside.
This is, I think, a relatively common theme with certain basketball players, especially when they're this respective age. Some players gradually just grow, okay, 6'2", now I'm 6'4", okay, great. Other players just grow half a foot, and sometimes it feels like a foot overall, and then they don't always bring the muscle or the coordination with them. Well, he brought the muscle with him along with the height. Now we're just waiting for the – shows a little bit of around the basket and from long two range, but hopefully the rest of the touch actually kicks in free throw line and to the three-point line as well.
Talking with Mike Garcia, covers the NBA draft prospects and the Lakers. You can follow him on Twitter at Canyon Driver. You can also read his Substack, Lakers Draft Scouting, at lakersdraft.substack.com. Now we get to the comp, Mike. Realistic best case comp for Adu Tiero. If he pops in the most realistic ways, what type of player are you picturing?
The closest comp that I could think of is the Sacramento Kings version of Gerald Wallace.
Oh.
I remember Gerald Wallace. He was very good. He had similar kind of issue with his jump shot. It took him years to get there, but he had a tremendous motor. He ran the floor. He was a tremendous finisher. He had the defensive intensity. One key difference is Wallace was just more of a natural rebounder, like a double-digit rebounder if he had the time. Tiero is a little bit more guard-oriented, and you can see that with the floater touch and the perimeter shooting just a little bit. But that's an easy trade-off for me, especially with this kind of pick in the second round.
I remember years ago, and this will let you know how long ago it was. It was back when the Summer League used to be at the Pyramid in Long Beach, and I believe it was rookie Gerald Wallace was playing in a game, I guess for Sacramento, against the Clippers, and Lamar Odom, for whatever reason, he was either second or third year in the league, decided just to play a Summer League game. I mean, just very LO.
and the two of them were matched up against each other. And I remember, because I was measuring this against Odom, I was like, okay, this Wallace kid, I have no idea who he is, but this guy's going to be good. So Gerald Wallace, if that is the comp, like that version of Sacto Wallace, that would be great. If, say, Thiero doesn't pop in enough different ways, who are you picturing then?
I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit.
If, say, for whatever reason, Thiero didn't pop in all the ways necessary and was sort of the low-end version of what you're expecting, who would be the comp then?
Like a higher-end version of, say, Josh Green. He's a 3-and-D player. He's with the Mavs. Josh Green is also someone that runs the floor, and he developed his shot a little bit later in his career and became a more effective three-point threat, and he actually draws. But I just think athletically, Thiero is just a higher level of athlete, and we're just waiting on that shooter touch, and the rest of it will just kind of into getting more playing time.
Do you think he could be capable of NBA minutes now, even like just 10 minutes a night in a very tailored role for the Lakers next year? Because in theory, he offers some things that the Lakers don't have.
I would say, like, for a shift or two, Zach, is the difference in how perimeter defense is played at the college level versus the NBA college level. I've noticed some out to there. He can be a little bit more foul prone because he's such a physical defender. Table of how quickly a player learns to just kind of back off and save their fouls and be more conservative along the three-point line. But if he learns that quickly, then all of a sudden, okay, here's a great containment defender. Don't force the turnovers just yet. Just do your job, and then we'll take care of the rest. And
then my last question for you, and we're talking with Mike Garcia. He covers NBA draft prospects. You can follow him on Twitter at Canyon Driver. Also read his Substack, Lakers Draft Scouting at lakersdraft.substack.com. What's your take on the Lakers offseason so far? Do you like the moves? What would you like to see next?
I like the moves a lot. Ayton, I'm happy about because they have a setter. We could talk about wingspan. He has 7'6" arms too. Like, people forget that he has a lot of length. Yes, he has a lot of threat. Yes, he is a rebounder. These are all the things that Laker fans actually want to see for this respective team, especially playing next to Luka. I'm very happy about Jake LaRavia as well. I think he's a very underrated signing. I didn't expect it at that kind of contract, that's for sure. And just knowing that there's a forward that has three-point gravity, that understands how to relocate, that makes quick decisions, I think those are all good things for this team.
He is Mike Garcia. He covers both the Lakers and NBA draft prospects. You can follow him on Twitter at Canyon Driver. You can also read his Substack, Lakers Draft Scouting at lakersdraft.substack.com. Really appreciate the time, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Not going to lie, I'm a little excited about Thiero. It's probably foolish to get excited about a second-round draft pick, but I know Mike knows his stuff, and if Mike can see the potential for Thiero to get on the court 1-2 shifts a game, that could be interesting because the Lakers do need that athleticism. And like, if I've seen some clips floating around of Thiero, the dude is a sick athlete. Like, he is even by NBA standards, he is a really sick athlete. And if he could bring some of that perimeter defense, and you're going to have to live with some rookie mistakes, but that's interesting. And if nothing else, I will believe in the Lakers scouting department. That has been, for all the ups and downs over the last 10 or 15 years, all the wild swings between championships, missing the playoffs, whatever, some front office decisions, the scouting department has been pretty rock solid, and they've been pretty good no matter where they look to draft players, top of the first round, undrafted, second round, whatever. So I'm very intrigued by the possibilities with Adou Thiero. 877-710-ESPN if you want to weigh in on anything Mike Garcia said, Ayton talk, Bradley Beal talk, whatever. 877-710-ESPN. Mitch, I see you. I'm going to get to you. Lakers talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason in Ireland tomorrow at noon after Travis and DeMarco.
You broke another mic? This mic. Okay, headphones. No, I got that.
What? Bergman, the mic was malfunctioning.
Now Laura's pulling wires over his head. We're a mess today.
This is what I do. This is how I work, Bergman. Go home.
The OGs of LA Sports Talk.
Mason and Ireland on 710.
Next Gen, the official air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical team of SoCal sports fans. Did you know that the water in Southern California contains nitrates, pesticides, forever chemicals, lead, chromium, chlorine, and more? See what a difference purified water can make for you and your family. For a limited time, Next Gen's offering everyone $500 off any whole home water purification system. And with thousands of 5-star reviews and a decade of experience, you can trust them for quality service and expertise. Next Gen is your whole home comfort provider, offering plumbing, AC, heating, and electrical services. Schedule a visit today and learn all about the benefits of cleaner water and total home comfort. We're talking whole home expertise, financing options, 5-star service, and 7-day-a-week availability. So don't wait. Call right now, 833-3-NEXGEN today to start the benefits of cleaner water for your home tomorrow. CSLB number 1011173. Next Gen, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Hey, it's Travis. Every legend has a story, and those stories are kept at Legends Attic in Claremont. Legends Attic is the premier sports memorabilia gallery and store that offers a unique blend of rare and iconic collectibles. It's a community for sports fans and collectors, so go check it out for yourself. Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in the city of Claremont. Visit legendsattic.com and be sure to follow Legends Attic on all social media platforms so you can stay connected to know about their upcoming signings and special events with Hall of Famers and pro players.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
It's important to note, Lakers, at least by all appearances, they are trying to win right now. Not just in the future, but like right now with Luka and LeBron, unless we forget Luka Doncic, pretty effing good player. You're talking about a top 5 player in the league when he's healthy. That is one of LeBron's co-stars.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Musical you. You're not musical, man. If you're going to be a one-hit wonder, let it be this song.
Exactly.
This song is so great.
Remember,
DeAndre
like 50
likes
years later, too. Or 40 years
DeAndre
later.
likes it. It came out like 20 years before DeAndre was born, and he loves it.
It was on one of my favorite shows.
Which show?
Stranger Things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Stranger Things is set in the 80s,
Yeah.
and it's launched this 80s essence in pop culture. Like, my daughter, for a little while, she's 14, but when Stranger Things first came out, I guess she was about 9 or 10, and she got really into it. And she's very into a lot of stuff from the 80s anyway, but back then, I remember she would honestly start, like, lecturing me, who was a teenager in the 80s, about what life was like in the 80s. I'm like, slow down.
Just don't get it, Dad.
Oh, she would. She would tell me all the time. She's like, you know, the diners were great in the 80s. I'm like, what the hell do you... You have no idea what
you
you're
don't know
talking
about the diners in the 80s.
You don't know nothing about no diners. But, like, she watched some Stranger Things scene that was set in a diner. So she decided that all diners were great in the 80s. She's seen some Brat Pack movies. She loves her some Outsiders. She loves her some Rumblefish.
You say Golden Pony Boy. Say Golden.
Oh, she knows every single line in The Outsiders. She is very, very into Matt Dillon. That's her dude. She is very, very into
Tell
Matt
her to watch
Dillon.
something about Meriden.
I think, you know what's funny? I think she will say she's seen There's Something About Mary. She's never actually seen the whole movie, but she's seen clips of it either on YouTube or TikTok.
That's one of Matt Dillon's best performances.
Yeah, he's very, very funny in that. Again, thanks to Mike Garcia, covers the NBA draft, also the Lakers. Follow him on Twitter, @CanyonDriver. He is very excited about Adu Tiero. Going to be talking in about 25 minutes with Sean Hyken, covers the Portland Trailblazers, get his thoughts on DeAndre Ayton. Anything you guys want to react to, 877-710-ESPN. We're talking about Tiero and his potential next season. Could he actually play? Bronny James last night or yesterday afternoon, I should say, made his Summer League debut. Looked pretty good. 11 minutes, 10 points, hit a couple threes. One of them like a twisting fadeaway.
Big steal and a dunk.
Had a big breakaway dunk off the steal. I don't want to read too much into just 11 minutes, and I don't know why he's still on a minutes limit or there's some type of conditioning issues. Like, I honestly have no idea what it is. But those 11 minutes, man, he looked good. He looked pretty good. See,
now, is that someone that can back up the Lakers on the bench for 10 minutes or so?
Well, I'll tell you this, DeAndre, he looked better than Dalton Connect. Look.
Do you put any stock in that?
Well, here's the thing. Not yet. I'm not putting stock in it yet because, there's another game tomorrow with the California Classic. Then they go
Let's
to
just
Vegas.
say he goes to Vegas and stinks up the joint.
Yes. This is the stock I'm going to put into it. Second-year players, particularly guys selected in the first round who actually played. And Dalton Connect, I know the last couple of months his minutes went down and he didn't play in the playoffs, but Dalton got legitimate minutes over the course of the season. Like, he actually played. My litmus test for second-round players or second-year players like that is you should look like one of the best players in the Summer League. Best case scenario, you look too good for it and they shut you down.
After one game, I know.
Yeah, like Brandon Ingram. That happened with him in his second year. He played, and this was after a very up-and-down rookie year for B.I. B.I. played one Summer League game, crushed it, and the Lakers like, all right, we've seen enough. That's all we need. We're going to let Lonzo and Kuz and Hart and Caruso and those guys get more minutes that they actually need. Dalton Connect needs to, at minimum, look like one of the best players in the Summer League for me to feel like he is progressing in the way that he should. These first two games, he's been like the fourth or fifth best player on his own team. Like Cole Swider has been much better than him. The kid DJ Stewart, who I know has bounced around from different training camps, he's been better than Dalton Connect. Bronny, again, minutes, but he's been better. Like, what you expect from Trey Jemison in his role, he's been better than Dalton. Like, there are several players who've been better than Dalton Connect. Am I going to freak out about this? No. It does make me wonder if maybe he is preoccupied by some of the trade chatter, like yet again, DeAndre. Like, maybe that is on his mind right now. He's wondering, like, this team that I'm playing for right now, am I actually going to be on it in a couple months?
He's hurting his own stock then if he's going in with that mindset coming into a summer league like that. But I mean, again, the Lakers showed their cards. They showed their cards as far as when that Mark Williams trade got rescinded and everything, and then him coming back. But he was unplayable when it came deep in the regular season and when it came to the playoffs. Like, he was unplayable.
Well, this is one of the things he's got to remember too. Like, first of all, a lot of rookies don't play much or at all in the playoffs, particularly on a team that had aspirations, and the Lakers were a 3 seed last year. But also, he got traded for a center. Like, among all the things Dalton Connect can do on the court, grow 7 inches is not one of them. You know what I mean? Like, he can't be a center. And he needs to remember that the Lakers did not trade him for a better version of him. They traded him for a position that they didn't have. So I hope that he can bear that in mind, that, like, look, clearly the Lakers would trade him because they just did. But they didn't trade him for an upgraded version of Dalton Connect. They traded him for a completely different type of player that they didn't have on the roster. And by the way, it showed in the playoffs. that they didn't have that guy on the roster. So, like, I know it's easier said than done, and it's easy for me to say this in the studio as opposed to being Dalton actually playing the games, but he needs to not take this personally.
But I mean, again, like there's a lot of things going into it. Like offensively, is he a great shooter? Yes. But when his shot's not falling, what can he do on the other end of the floor? And he became unplayable when his shot wasn't rolling. And the Lakers look at that as, okay, we see you still have potential. You still have a great stock to go out and get someone that we need because we don't have a real center. Jackson Hayes was the starting center, so they try to use Dalton Connect as an asset to get that center. Didn't work out, but he's got to be able to manage that and understand that at the end of the day, it's a business. Guys get traded, especially when it's unexpectedly. There's guys we've seen that got traded that we did not expect to happen.
Luka.
Exactly.
Luka got traded.
And he's got to understand, like, if you see that, like, he's got to be able to play knowing that his stock is going to hurt himself the way he's playing on the court.
Right. It's going to hurt his own opportunities. Like, whether he wants to stay with the Lakers for life or end up in a better situation, like, he's clearly an NBA player. The question is just how high up in the rotation. Do you want to be a starting caliber player? Do you want to be a high sixth man? Or are you trying to end up 9th, 10th man, something like that? So he is capable of doing more. He needs to do more. All right, coming up next, going to take a couple of your calls. Also talk a little bit more about DeAndre Ayton ahead of our conversation with Sean Highkin. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Pick me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold.
This is not a two-timeline situation where you are trying to give LeBron the send-off that he deserves, pay tribute to a legend, but also try to make it work with Luka. No. This is a Luka timeline. Period.
It's an off-season edition of Lakers Talk on 710.
And whatever they are doing right now, the Lakers need to be working as hand in glove as possible with Luka in coordination, finding out what do you want us to do.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetzky.
Reminder, we're going to be talking with Sean Highkin, the author of the Rose Garden Report, also the Blazers insider. for Rip City Radio 620 in Portland. He covers the Blazers as close to anybody. Get some of his thoughts on DeAndre Ayton. Also want to talk about the buyout chatter involving LeBron James and
the buyout chapter, huh?
The buyout. The buyout after some passive aggressive posts that we've seen on social media, all connected to some people wondering whether or not LeBron would be interested in a buyout from the Lakers. We're going to talk about that coming up later in the hour. Also, going to talk with Sean Hyken about DeAndre Ayton. But first, Brian in San Pedro. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Brian?
Hey, what's up, Andy? I just want to tell you, listen to you and your brother and your YouTube stuff. Glad to be able to speak to you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem. My issue is I've been noticing the power rankings are putting the Lakers at 8. Now, I know a lot of teams have improved their roster on paper, and like the Clippers or whatever, but some of these teams are untested. They're unproven, and they are choke jobs. Now, you had Luka, who came over with a calf injury, somewhat out of shape, dealing with the aftermath of being traded, basically in shock. All this upheaval, the Lakers still were number 3. I mean, you got DeAndre Ayton, Luka coming back, more than likely LeBron coming back. Austin Reeves improves every year. Now, I don't see them at 3rd this year, but not 8th. At least 6th or 5th. I don't agree with the power rankings. I think people are just hating on the Lakers. I mean, I'm not,
Okay, well,
I just feel like the power rankings a little off.
Okay, I appreciate the call, and I got to be honest. Like, I don't know which power rankings you're referring to. There can be a bunch of them, but I'm going to let you in on a little dirty little secret that I probably shouldn't, as an ESPN company man, somebody that's involved with the network, all that stuff.
Don't give away our secrets.
The power rankings are all BS. Like, they don't actually mean anything. Like, I'm pretty sure the Pacers spent a long time, middle of the pack with the power rankings last year. They ended up in
maybe
the
sometimes in the 20s. Jeez.
Yeah, like these things don't matter. Like, they're not official rankings. They don't affect like your seeding like they would in, say, the NCAA tournament, something like that. They don't really matter. But if you're looking at the power rankings, also would involve the East and the West. OKC, Houston, and Denver, I think you would have to put ahead of the Lakers right now between both where they were and the off seasons that they had. And then you're going to put a couple teams in the East ahead of the Lakers just because the East is easier. Like, Cleveland's going to be ahead of them just because they're in an easier conference. The Knicks are going to be ahead of them because they're in an easier conference. You can maybe make an argument for Orlando being ahead of them, or maybe Atlanta, just because it's going to be easier in the East. That's how you start getting to 6 to 8, even if you think the Lakers are maybe the 4th best team in the West, or even the 3rd best team in the West. Like, some of this is just going to be a byproduct, DeAndre, of the East being easier.
That is true. The East is being easier, but I mean, when you look at it, like you said, OKC, Houston, Denver. Yeah. Houston and Denver, just because of acquisitions they got in the offseason. And Denver has Nikola Jokic. Simple as that. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
Yes.
You're going to put them ahead of them because they beat them in a 7-game series. I mean, after that, Golden State, Clippers maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look down, Lakers are going to be
in between that mix.
They're going to be in that mix.
They're going to be in that mix, depending on how things break with them with injuries and maybe other moves. Like, they were a 3 seed last year despite having essentially 3 different rosters over the course of the season.
And we can't forget the Mavericks, depending on how their season unfolds.
I need to see when and if Kyrie comes back. I need to see that.
Wait, man, they got D'Angelo Russell, man.
I think D'Lo's going to help them during the regular season. Like, he and AD play well together. Like, he can help them in the regular season.
You know how well they play with each other? I saw an 18-minute video of those guys with just highlights, just screen and rolls. 18 minutes, A-Cam.
The two of them play very well together. D'Angelo Russell, like, these are verifiable statistics. You can look them up if you want. This isn't eye test. This isn't vibes.
They're bosom buddies.
D'Lo looked for AD. Like, he passed the ball to AD more than anybody else on the team. Like, this is a statistical fact. He looks for AD, involved AD, so that's going to be helpful for Dallas. But ultimately for the playoffs, they need Kyrie back, or else they're not going anywhere. Mitch in New Jersey. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Mitch?
How you doing, Andy?
Good.
What's happening?
Hey.
I'm sure your daughter would also agree that the A's had the best movies. Best movies were in the 80s.
Some very good ones, man, for sure.
Definitely. Beverly Hills Cop 1, Trading Places. You got to like the movie, the Ayton, but he kind of reminds you of Daryl Dawkins. The motor, it's questionable. But he's already put up better numbers than Daryl Dawkins. I'm sorry?
I'm saying Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, Chocolate Thunder. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, too. I mean, it's unfathomable. Athletes that can have their lives cut short. Yeah. I forgot what it was. But he's already put up better numbers, and he didn't give up any assets. Also, is Coloco and Jemison are going to be on the team? Because I wasn't happy with Jackson Hayes at all. I don't know why they resigned. I want to see what Coloco and Jemison have in store for us, at least off the bench.
Appreciate the call there, Mitch. As far as Coloco, I'm not quite sure because he's a restricted free agent. Thus far, I don't think nobody's put out an offer for the Lakers to match. And where you go from there, if nobody does that, I don't know if they just rescind the offer and Coloco becomes a free agent or if they end up giving him another two-way deal. Jemison is under contract next year on a two-way deal. So for the time being, Trey Jemison is going to be a part of the G League team and on a two-way, likely going back and forth, stuff like that. But Coloco is a little bit more of a question mark. To answer the question why they brought back Jackson Hayes, like I said before, he, DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, they all share the same agent. You can do some math there, I'm pretty comfortable saying. That being said, though, it is important to know there have been some reporting that Jackson Hayes, because he was on a third consecutive one-year deal, that he had a de facto no-trade clause, which is a CBA rule. This is not the Lakers granting it to him. This is something in the CBA to help players maintain their bird rights. Jackson Hayes, according to Dan Wojcicki, covers the Lakers for The Athletic, he waived his no-trade clause. I think basically –
wow.
Yes. I think it is basically in exchange –
That's giving the power back to them.
Well, there's some horse trading that goes on. If I had to guess, the sequence is something like this. The Lakers, we know, are looking to get Luka Doncic to sign an extension to whatever terms Luka wants. As the Lakers are looking for a center, Luka's agent, Bill Duffy, I am speculating, but gives Rob Pelinka a heads up. Hey, DeAndre Ayton, a lot of people don't know about this, but I think he and the Blazers are going to end up in a buyout. He is going to be looking for a starting gig. I think he'd be interested in playing for the Lakers. Before you get too deep into some trade conversations, maybe give up some assets, I think DeAndre Ayton, my client, could be an option. DeAndre Ayton ends up coming here for $8 million. That is a bargain rate for a legitimate starting caliber center. Bill Duffy then mentions, again, speculating, oh, by the way, my other client, Jackson Hayes, what are the possibility of bringing him back? Rob Pelinka says, well, we could do that, but, we are probably going to have to get him to waive the no-trade clause.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, it's not even wink, wink. It's, we'll give you the papers. This is all legal. It's not. They weren't tampering with Jackson Hayes, but it's like.
I just like to believe it was wink, wink. That Pelinka and whoever was just doing a wink, wink.
You like it to be more nefarious.
Yes.
You'd like this to be like Spygate.
Yes,
like
I do.
But, it turns into, okay, we can bring Jackson back. We can even give him a bit of a bump, but we're going to need him to waive the no-trade clause because that doesn't work for us. Bill Duffy says, okay, with the salary bump, we can make this work. Then you end up with Jackson Hayes retained. In all honesty, even if he still had the no-trade clause, I wouldn't think it's that big of a deal because my guess is if he's playing, they're probably not looking to trade him. If Jackson isn't playing, he probably would be open to a trade because he needs to get somewhere where he's playing so he can try to establish himself for his next deal. So I don't think the no trade was necessarily that big of a deal, but it certainly is better that he doesn't have it. And either way, these are the sort of things that go on between agents and teams all the time. We saw this a lot with LeBron and AD and Clutch. I think both the perceived and real influence they had over the team. CAA with the Knicks, that's a thing. This stuff happens all the time. What matters is that Rob and Bill Duffy have a good relationship, and for what it's worth, My impression, everything I've heard about Bill Duffy, he's a very powerful agent, but that he's reasonably easy to work with. Like, he is, my understanding of Bill Duffy has always been, for powerful agents, he's fairly easy to work with. And also there's going to have to be times where Rob Pelinka is willing and able to tell Bill Duffy, no, like, we can't do this. In the same way, there were times where Rob Pelinka, by multiple reports, told Clutch, we can't do this. He told LeBron, we can't do this. So that's the give and take. That's what we need from this relationship moving forward, hopefully for a while, between Team Luka and Team Lakers. It just ends up some back and forth. And so far this year, if Luka ends up signing this extension and they got DeAndre Ayton for below market value, that's a pretty small price to pay for Jackson Hayes on a one-year deal. Like, I think you can learn to live with that, even if you're not wild about Hayes being back. That's a reasonable sacrifice, in my opinion.
DeAndre Sy. Wow. Never heard of that.
Jackson Hayes.
Please make sure that this is getting caught on YouTube. Just DeAndre's expression.
Man.
Again, he's not starting. Might not even be second string guy. Maxi Kleber could get those minutes.
I wouldn't mind Maxi Kleber being in that rotation.
Well, I mean, based on last year, Game 5 elimination, Maxi Kleber maybe hasn't even met half his teammates. The fact that JJ played him ahead of Jackson Hayes.
He played like 10 minutes, I know.
Played him in crunch time.
I know.
I was like, what? Like, what? Based on that, Maxi Kleber's still ahead of Jackson Hayes. What? Like, that was
what?
That was some galaxy brain bleep, frankly. Like, that just, I'm sorry. Like, that was insane. But again, DeAndre, you can rest easy. It appears that Maxi Kleber is ahead of Jackson Hayes in the rotation.
Good. He can stretch the floor out. He can switch 1 through 5. Maxi Kleber defends relatively well, keeps guys in front, and again, I think he has he fulfills this team better than what Jackson Hayes was able to do.
Game 5, last 3 minutes. Maxi, you've never practiced with any of these guys.
I was there. I saw him.
Barely
roll the
met any
dice.
of them.
I saw him.
No pressure.
Let's roll the dice.
We just need you to help save the season.
Roll the dice.
Go. Wow. All right, coming up next, we're going to get into DeAndre Ayton, the starting center for your Los Angeles Lakers this coming season. He's going to be introduced tomorrow by the Lakers in El Segundo, 1:30 press conference. Going to talk with Sean Hyken, who covers the Blazers for the Rose Garden Report and also 6:20 a.m. in Portland. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco.
Live from LA Live. Back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah, bad day for me.
Nah, you're good.
No, this is a bad day. This
Nah.
is punch people in the face day. Just really pissed off.
Somebody cut you off on the freeway? I have a feeling.
I am in next blank mode. The next M blank that says the wrong word. So I'm letting you know.
It's a warning to everybody.
I'm letting you know. Just be careful today.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
On 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Next Gen, the official air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical team of SoCal sports fans, is telling you that summer is coming. So are you ready to beat the heat? Don't let your system throw you a curveball. The industry is experiencing equipment shortages and rising prices, which means now is the best time to replace. So don't get stuck in the heat. Next Gen's offering everyone a free whole home air cleaner with any new AC install. Enjoy cleaner air and total home comfort this summer, and you'll get peace of mind with Next Gen's lifetime warranty on selected units. Remove dust, allergens, and pollutants, and lock in the best pricing on your new AC install. They're open 7 days a week. Lifetime warranty options available, financing options available, and of course that 5-star service. Don't wait. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN today and beat the heat. CSLB number 1011173. NEXTGEN, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN.
The Lakers need to be prioritizing what is the best way moving forward with Luka. If Luka wants them to trade everything nailed down right now, you do that. Whatever moves Luka wants, you try to make happen.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
So funny, when this song came out, Electric Avenue, Eddie Grant, I was like maybe 10 or something. And it just sounds like a happy song. We're all going down to Electric Avenue.
And it's not.
Oh, no.
It's not.
It is angry as hell. Like, it's about basically a riot that's about to jump
Yeah,
off.
I do know that.
But when you're 10, you don't realize. It's like a lot of Bob Marley lyrics. Like, everybody thinks, oh, Bob Marley.
Exactly. Peaceful guy, blah, blah,
few
blah.
long loads.
No.
Like, very
bro.
political, very angry. But this song, much angrier.
It was a hit in the 80s, though.
Great song.
Yeah.
Great song. Lakers' big move this offseason, I should say, the acquisition of DeAndre Ayton, former number 1 overall pick. He is a legit starting center. He has averaged 16 and 10 on his career, but he's got a lot of detractors. He's been a controversial, polarizing player in general. And to break down DeAndre Ayton, both as a player and I think this matters as a person, really excited to bring in Sean Ayton. He covers the Blazers for his own site, the Rose Garden Report. He is also the Blazers insider for Rip City Radio 620 in Portland. You can follow him on Twitter at Ayton. Sean, how are you, man?
I'm good, Andy. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while, man. I'm glad to have you on. Before we get into some of the particulars with DeAndre Ayton as a player, as a person, how surprised were you, if at all, that he and Portland reached a buyout in the first place? Was this something you were thinking might be on the horizon?
Honestly, no. I really wasn't. I thought it kind of came out of nowhere, but really everything the Blazers have done this offseason, whether it's the Anthony Simons-Drew Holiday trade or the Young Hansen pick that they made at 16 or this, it all kind of came out of nowhere without a lot of warning. But when you kind of look at the reasoning behind it once it actually went down, it kind of makes sense because from what I understand, they did talk to a few different teams about, trades for him. But the thing that was the hang up there is it's a lot of salary to match. He was making $35 million. And there were teams that wanted to trade for him, but it would have involved Portland taking back salary beyond this upcoming season. If it had been a situation where they could have traded him for just matching expiring salary and it wasn't going to tie up their books beyond this coming year, that's probably the route they would have gone. But once they weren't able to get anything done with that, I think both sides just kind of decided, the writing is clearly on the wall that he's not going to be part of the long-term plans between them drafting Donovan Clingan in the top 10 last year and then drafting another center, as I just mentioned, in the first round this year. And clearly, they have kind of their guys that they're building around, the guys that they're going young with, and he wasn't going to be a part of that. And so I think mutually it just kind of made sense for them. He gave back enough money that they'll have enough room under the tax that if they want to, they can use the full mid-level without going into the tax. And now he gets to go play, he's going to start in L.A., whereas, there was kind of some doubt about whether, are they going to try to make him come off the bench? Do they want, to put Donovan Clingan in that spot? Are they going to, what's his role going to be in Portland? So it just kind of made sense for both sides to move on. But to answer your question, no, this wasn't something that was on my radar before it actually happened, or anybody's really.
What did you make of his 2 seasons in Portland, and how hard, if at all, was it to even just evaluate his seasons, given where Portland was rebuilding at times, not seeming like they were really all that interested in winning?
Well, I mean, the way that I've been putting it is I think whatever your priors were on DeAndre Ayton, however you felt about him before he got to Portland, you probably didn't see enough to change your mind in either direction. If you're somebody that thought that, this is a former number 1 overall pick, he's still one of the most talented, physically talented big men in the league, and, for whatever the other stuff is, there's enough talent there that it's worth keeping him around. He put up, I think he averaged 16 and 10 this year. Like, there was enough there that you could talk yourself into that still. But if you were somebody that came into the DeAndre Ayton experience already kind of thinking, okay, he's an empty stats guy, he isn't a winning player, he maybe isn't fully focused all the time, he's just kind of a guy that maybe isn't as actually impactful as his numbers advertise him to be, you probably didn't have your mind changed in the other direction either. So really whatever you felt about him previously is probably the way you came away from his 2 years in Portland feeling. And, he certainly had some good moments, but, they are now entering the phase of their rebuild where after the season that they had last year where they won 36 games unexpectedly and were in the play-in mix until near the end of the regular season, and they're clearly not going to try to tank again next year. The players that they're keeping around are guys that they think are going to be long-term guys that they can, as they try to push back into the playoffs, can, build with. And clearly they decided he wasn't one of those guys. So that just kind of answers everything.
Talking with Sean Hyken, covers the Blazers for his own site, the Rose Garden Report. He's also the Blazers insider for Rip City Radio 620 in Portland. You can follow him on Twitter at HIGHKIN. Again, his last name, Sean Hyken. How do you picture DeAndre Ayton as a fit alongside both Luka and LeBron on the court and also culturally?
Well, the on-court part, I'm actually not that worried about because I think, he's a good mid-range shooter. So, if you have, you put the kind of weakness that, this Blazers team had is they didn't have like a truly great, point guard to put him with. You got LeBron and you got Luka. So, I think he's going to be okay on the basketball front. The thing that I'm a little bit interested in is how, less so with those two, but more so, you obviously know J.J. Redick better than I do. I've only talked to him a couple of times throughout his, playing career, but he doesn't seem like he has a lot of patience for anybody who isn't just as much of a psycho about basketball as he is. So yeah. I'm interested in how that it might. I worry that it might be kind of a repeat of the Monty Williams, Chris Paul dynamic that went so badly in Phoenix, which I think that was a little bit more nuanced and a little bit more multi-layered than maybe it's been made out to be. But I do wonder how that personality match between him and like Chauncey Billups was, I think, kind of the perfect coach for somebody like him because he's, obviously, he's a former player, so he commands the respect, which J.J. Redick has. But Chauncey is also great at kind of meeting people where they are and not really. It's really a lot of the same qualities, ironically, that Damian Lillard had as a locker room guy while he was here. And, he does have certain expectations that you have to meet, but he's a little bit more – he's a little bit less like – he doesn't like get his bent out of shape about every single loss as somebody like J.J. Redick does. And I wonder how that's going to go with somebody like D.A., who's maybe – more of a goofy, kind of lighthearted guy who, sometimes he's totally focused and locked in and sometimes he's not. I'm kind of curious how that's going to go.
Well, that's actually something I wanted to get into with you. We're talking with Sean Hyken. He covers the Blazers for the Rose Garden Report, his own site, also the Blazers insider for Rip City Radio 620 in Portland. There has been, and this dates back before Portland, it was time in Phoenix, there's been a lot of coverage with Ayton as somebody who lacks an inherent motor, that he may not be truly passionate about basketball, but there can be space in between psychopathic love and passion for basketball like JJ, Kobe Bryant, LeBron, and doesn't give a crap about it at all. Where do you think Ayton falls into that space, like on that scale?
Probably somewhere in the middle, maybe leaning sort of more towards the second end of the spectrum. But I don't think it's this idea that he's just, lazy or this bad teammate or this malcontent that the entire organization couldn't wait to get rid of. I think that's just kind of the way that's been portrayed. I don't think that's really fair to him at all. And honestly, I think the way a lot of the Phoenix stuff went, because if you go back, basically, from my understanding, what happened in Phoenix is before their playoff run in 2021, where they went to the finals and lost to Milwaukee, they basically told him, look, if you kind of take a step back offensively, we have Chris Paul, we have Devin Booker, we don't need you to be our primary focus on offense, just be like a dirty work guy, play defense, protect the rim, we'll get you dunks, we'll get you, some good mid-range shots, but you're not going to be like a focal point of the offense. If you do that, we'll take care of you. We'll give you this extension. He held up his end of the bargain. He did that. He did. And he was, people do forget, he was the starting center and the defensive anchor of a team that made the finals. So he did everything he was asked to do, and then they didn't give him the extension that kind of led to the trust there being broken, and then obviously that led to everything ending as badly as it did between him and Monty and Phoenix and just that whole situation. So I think there's kind of some mitigating factors there. And then, in Portland, he just kind of, he is what he is. There are nights where he looks like, one of the best big men in the league. And there are other nights where, you don't even know that he's out there, which, I think he's one of those guys where, like, if he's talented enough and he's, physically, gifted enough, that if he had that, psychotic like drive to be the best basketball player of all time, he'd be a Hall of Famer. He's that good. He's that talented. But, there's a reason that now, he kind of is where he is. And it's just that focus is not always there. But I think the thing that gets lost with the way kind of a lot of this stuff has been covered in the aftermath of him getting bought out is he is not a bad guy at all. Like, he's actually a really good guy. He's a pretty well-liked guy. He's a good teammate in the sense of, like, guys like being around him. He's a funny guy. He's a goofy guy. People like him. And in fact, one thing, something I actually really respected about him this past season is that, and I said this on Twitter the night that he got bought out, but he's one of the main players that comes back in the Damian Lillard trade. He came back from Phoenix that was like a part of that 3-team trade. And, at that point, he's 1 year out from signing that max contract, the former number 1 overall pick. He clearly comes in as a starting center. And in his mind, he's somebody that they're building around long term because of the, who they traded as part of the trade to get him and all of that. A year later, they draft Donovan Clingan in the top 10. And it would be very easy for somebody in his position with his, pedigree and his credentials and stuff to say, oh, you guys drafted somebody at my position in the top 10. You basically drafted my replacement. I don't like that. I'm not down with that. But he was just a complete opposite. He completely embraced Donovan. He was, kind of his vet in a way. Like he helped him. He was always, talking him up and, trying to help him out, talk to him on the bench, all that kind of stuff. So, he's a good dude and he's a good guy to be around and he's a good locker room guy. He's just, I think some of the focus and, some of the mentality stuff, I think gets misconstrued into him being a bad guy, and he's not at all.
Talking with Sean Ayton, covers the Blazers for his own site, the Rose Garden Report. He is also the Blazers insider for Rip City Radio, 620 in Portland. You can follow him on Twitter at Ayton. Last question for you. How cognizant do you think DeAndre Ayton would be about, at least in my opinion, if this does not work out with the Lakers? This is his last chance, I think, to establish himself as a guy that would command a certain salary. Like I think his career, he's not going to be out of the league, but he's going to be somebody that is going to probably bounce around. He's going to be somebody that will be making somewhere between veteran minimum money and maybe taxpayer mid-level exception money, like nowhere what he's used to commanding, or he's talked about wanting to command. Do you think he has enough both self-awareness, but I guess seriousness, to recognize that? And do you think that'll matter to him?
I think it is going to matter to him. I'm not going to sit here and say, I think this is definitely going to work out and it's going to be just this great storybook ending and he reestablishes himself as a guy that's going to get another contract kind of in the same realm as the one that he just got bought out of. But I think he knows what the deal is, and especially with the amount of attention that's going to be on him playing for this particular franchise. I will say I'm a little bit curious, kind of in the same realm as the J.J. Redick, like how that personality mesh is going to be. I mean, you know this as well as anybody covering this team every day, Andy. The Lakers, whether it's Russell Westbrook or Darvin Ham or back in the day Dwight Howard the first time he was there, there's always a guy on this team that's like the easy guy to blame that everybody just kind of piles everything onto. Because DeAndre Ayton already has the reputation that he has as like kind of a goofy guy, not a very serious guy who's now kind of not panned out in two different places and was the number 1 overall pick when taken ahead of Luka, he's already coming in as kind of an easy target. So I do worry a little bit that let's say this Lakers season doesn't go the way everybody wants it to just overall, whether it's his fault or not, or whether he's the reason for that or not, it just feels like it's setting it up because he's already such an easy target because of his career. It's just like how, when the Knicks just lost in the conference finals, Karl Anthony Towns was not the reason that they lost that series, but because people already feel however they feel about him, he's going to be the guy that everybody kind of dumps it on. And I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be the case with DA because of what his reputation already is coming in.
No, I mean, that's a perfectly legitimate concern. Those narratives build quickly. I remember when Ron Artest joined the Lakers, he was, you could just tell, overtly hyper-conscious of, if we don't repeat, everybody's going to blame this on me. And, he talked about that, and, he was, by Ron Artest's, standards of just, Ron was a great teammate, and he was great with the Lakers. But, Ron is never, Meta now, he's never going to be like the quote-unquote normal guy. But by his standards, he was very much in line and, saying all the right things and doing all the right stuff. And in the end, he was a big reason they ended up winning a championship. So we'll see how that goes with DeAndre Ayton. He is Sean Hyken. He covers the Blazers for the Rose Garden Report. He's also the Blazers insider for Rip City Radio 620 in Portland. Follow him on Twitter at Hyken. And Sean, I'm putting you on the hook right now. I'm going to need you to do this all over again with me and my brother for Locked On Lakers. Do a scouting report on DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, whenever you want.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. This was fun, man. I'm glad we caught up. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, Sean Hyken, great insights of DeAndre Ayton, his time with the Blazers. Coming up, you can react to anything Sean said, 877-710-ESPN. Also want to get into the chatter about LeBron and a potential buyout. And is he sending messages on social, agitating, passive-aggressive? Is that what he wants? And does it even matter if that's what he wants? We'll get into that coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Dick's Steal Days are happening now. You won't want to miss our biggest sale of the summer. Scorecard members earn a $20 bonus reward on your purchase of $150 or more. Plus 3 days of amazing savings start Tuesday. Check out offers from brands like Nike, Adidas, Hoka, and Stanley. And check back daily for new one-day deals Tuesday through Thursday. Score the season's hottest savings before they're gone on July 10th. Shop in the app and on Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
It's important to note, Lakers, at least by all appearances, they are trying to win right now. Not just in the future, but like right now with Luka and LeBron, and lest we forget, Luka Doncic, pretty effing good player. You're talking about a top 5 player in the league when he's healthy. That is one of LeBron's co-stars.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetzky rolls on.
Oh, yeah.
One of the all-time great soundtracks, The Harder They Come. The movie starring Jimmy Cliff, reggae legend. It's actually it's a very super low-budget movie.
It's like a very gangster movie.
Yeah, very gangster, very like guerrilla filming style. Like you can tell this was made shoestring budget, but it's actually really compelling. And Jimmy Cliff is really good. It's like the original outlaw becomes gangster legend in music story. It's like a lot of what you see, like sort of the personas that get put out there in
hip-hop,
rap music. I was going to say hip-hop or, like a Johnny Cash even before Jimmy Cliff or like an Axl Rose, stuff like that. Like the more they become outrageous.
The bad guys who we're cheering for here.
Yep, absolutely. Great soundtrack, The Harder They Come. Thanks again to Sean Hyken for talking a little DeAndre Ayton. You can follow him on Twitter at Hyken. Some interesting thoughts about where this is going to go with DeAndre Ayton. Makes it sound like a lot of it, DeAndre is in Ayton's corner. Like, this is up to him, man.
He's got to find that motivation. And the only thing that worries me is that him coming to this Lakers team, the reports of him being unmotivated and him throwing tantrums and him not getting along with the veterans in the locker room.
For what it's worth, Sean did not think that was the case. Like, with Portland, at least. He did not think that was the case.
As far as him just...
Like, not being a bad locker room guy. Like, he actually said he was well-liked in the locker room. Phoenix, I don't know. But they did go to the finals with him.
I feel like that's because Chris Paul and Devin Booker got the most out of him. They were really hard on him, especially younger in his NBA tenure at that time. They needed DeAndre Ayton to be at that point in order to have success. But the only thing that worries me is him coming to his Lakers team, and if he's not putting in the work, if he's not having the work ethic to come in and have that, that right mindset, because Portland obviously was not a good NBA team, but the unmotivated factor, LeBron and Luka can't be in there trying to motivate this guy night in and night out. He's got to want to get better. He's got to want to take respective criticism. He's got to want to get coached. All the rumors about Chauncey Billups, the difficulty of him trying to coach him, and then him throwing water bottles and throwing chairs. I mean, I get it. Those are all reports. I'm not the one to say I watched every single DeAndre Ayton game. His upside, great. But if he is unmotivated, that's the biggest thing that everyone's worried about. He's unmotivated. And he's not like the true big man that I feel like everyone thinks he is, as far as his ability to create his own shot. He likes to hang around in the mid-post, likes to, be back to the basket guy, likes to come off and shoot those little, those shots right inside the paint. He doesn't really bang in inside low. He doesn't like getting to the free throw line like that. So that kind of worries me as well as that, because Lakers need that size to be a dominant force in the paint as well.
He does hit the offensive glass, and he does dunk a lot. I mean, he is a good alley-oop finisher. He is a good dunking finisher. But
there's been a lot of clips of him getting beat down the court by other guys. There's a lot of clips of him ball watching.
Absolutely.
The Lakers cannot have that, especially in games against the Nuggets where Jokic is active. He is completely active. He's moving. He has a ball in his hands 24/7. A game like that against the Rockets with Şengün, constantly with the ball in his hand. He's going to be the one that's the driving force. Anthony Davis of the Mavericks, he's going to have the ball a lot in his hands. How is he going to be able to embrace and accept that challenge and be willing to be that dominant big man the Lakers desperately? We get it. He's on a 1-year deal. Lakers got him for a great contract. Cool. But the biggest thing going in there is he has to motivate himself. J.J. Redick can't go in there every single night and be like, come on, DeAndre, we need you. Come on, LeBron can't go in there. Come on, DeAndre, we need you. He has to want to do these things.
Well, hopefully he recognizes that this may be his last opportunity to maintain a certain stature in the NBA. Like, if this does not work with the Lakers, I don't think he's out of the league, but he is definitely never getting a big payday again.
Second to last stop if it doesn't work out the Lakers.
This is the last stop for DeAndre Ayton with any type of stature at all. So hopefully that motivates him to make something of it. Before I get to LeBron and the buyout chapter, Sharon in Los Feliz wants to talk about LeBron. What's up, Sharon?
Hey, Andy. How you doing, honey?
Good.
Good. Okay, here's my take. Guys, relax. LeBron will be on the team. He has signed. Let's reflect just for 1 minute. He got AD there. He got J.J. Redick in as a coach. His son is playing on the team. Show me another team that has a father and son. This is iconic. LeBron's beaten every record there is. He's done it. He's maxed out. He knows it. And so what he's doing is he's just keeping the chatter alive. That's all, because there's nothing else to really discuss. And he knows it. And so that's why he's not speaking. He's letting his guys do it. He is definitely going to play. For how long, we don't know. But there is nothing about his game we got to worry about. No team's going to – it's done. That's all it is. It's a mind thing. That's the last thing he can do, because there's nothing else to really discuss. He's gotten his cake. He's eaten it too. It's been a good run. It'll be a good year. But that's all this is. It's just all it is.
I appreciate the call there, Sharon. And it's interesting that Sharon mentioned the idea of having his cake and eating it too, because that would be, I guess, the end game if LeBron is, as some people are speculating, looking for a buyout from the Lakers. After LeBron opted in, there were the comments from Rich Paul that in so many words said, LeBron has been very happy with his relationship with the Lakers. We are grateful for these past 7 years. But LeBron is cognizant that the future is Luka Doncic. The Lakers are eyeing that future. He wants to win right now. He's going to be eyeing all of his options, yada, yada, yada. LeBron would be very difficult to trade. Between the salary that the Lakers have to between the salary the Lakers, the other team would need to send to the Lakers in order to even things out. LeBron having no trade clause, so he has to approve of anything. And also LeBron, in all likelihood, not wanting a team to gut themselves in order to be able to trade for him. He'd rather play with all those guys. So with that in mind, there is some reporting that has been bubbling up, some speculation that LeBron could be interested in a buyout with the Lakers. This has also been fueled in part because of some, as I like to say, passive-aggressive social media posts over the last several days. There's one of him working out in the Cavs facility. There's another of him in Ohio wearing a hat that I believe reads "Welcome Home." Allie Clifton, Spectrum Sportsnet host and Ohio native, she posted recently a photo of herself, what appeared to be on vacation, but she's wearing a LeBron Cavs jersey. LeBron commented on it, proper attire. And once the speculation started building up, LeBron responded on Twitter, quote, "And every summer since it was built," referring to he's worked out there. "I still live here. I train every summer. God damn, y'all bored, man. Go get a plate of food somewhere and enjoy the 4th of July." And look, I get it that LeBron does travel to Cleveland every summer. He does train there, but he also doesn't have to post everything that he does. Like, LeBron knows exactly what he's doing.
Coming home?
Right. If he doesn't want people speculating more because he knows they're speculating. I mean, hell, Bronny was asked about the speculation. He wouldn't post this stuff. But he's doing it, and again, it's the passive-aggressive stuff that we've seen for years.
Some of LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, summer of LeBron. This is a tradition unlike any other. We go through this
summer
all the time, but the speculation of wanting a buyout would be fueled by the idea that LeBron would essentially have his cake, being the $52 million or close to that, and eating it too. He gets to keep most of it after a buyout and then join the team of his choice without having to give up anything in the process. The idea of a buyout certainly would make sense, at least in theory, for LeBron. It makes absolutely no sense, though, whatsoever for the Lakers. Like, none. The Lakers would be, frankly, insane to even ponder the idea of granting LeBron a buyout now. There is absolutely nothing in it for them to do this now, after free agency is largely concluded, after LeBron already opted in and they don't gain any theoretical flexibility from him opting out. Certainly not because of the image that they like to portray of always doing right by their stars. Like, that's not going to help them enough, nor would not granting this to LeBron hurt them enough that it would be worth it. It would be insane of them to even ponder doing this right now. And the truth is, LeBron, A, doesn't deserve it. And I don't mean it like he doesn't deserve it in the sense of what he's done for the organization. He's done plenty for them. He's been a great steward.
He literally bought them back from the dead.
Sure. I mean, great. He also wanted to come here because he wanted to be in L.A. for a lot of business interests.
Of course.
Let's be honest about this. And the Lakers...
It was a business deal.
It's been very transactional in a lot of ways, and that's fine. Like, it's totally fine. But, he did win a championship with the Lakers. He helped them win a championship, but the championship helps him just as much as it helps them. It's not like the Lakers only benefited from it, and he didn't. The Lakers have done a lot of things to help out LeBron, including drafting his son in a season where they had no empty roster spots. And it was a really inconvenient time for them to do that for Bronny. Even if you believe in Bronny's talent, any other year, they would have likely traded that 55th pick. Like, they've done plenty for LeBron. They don't owe it to LeBron to do this for him right now. And LeBron has, frankly, no leverage whatsoever. Like, he has opted into this deal. He has no leverage. Assuming the Lakers have the stomach to maintain their leverage, they basically own all the cards right now. Now, if in a few months, let's just say a few months into the season, it's like January, for whatever reason, the Lakers are scuffling, and it's clear they're not going anywhere. At that point, I think the Lakers should do what I would call the right thing and not even buy out LeBron. Waive him. Waive him so he keeps all the money. Like, he doesn't give up a single penny in the process. Then that gives LeBron enough time to join another team. At that point, they truly will have done right by LeBron. They won't ask him to waste one of his final seasons on a team that isn't going anywhere. But for the time being, LeBron's playing on a team that went to that was a 3 seed last year. He's got Luka Doncic, who is frankly better than him at this stage of his career. There is no reason to grant LeBron a buyout right now, and he has no leverage to make it happen right now. So he can do all this stuff if it's what I believe he's doing right now. Again, the passive-aggressive social media stuff. At the end of the day, LeBron's not going to hold out. He's going to be at camp because he's too much of a professional. He cares too much. We'll see where everything goes from here. But for now, I would be stunned and, frankly, very disappointed in the Lakers if they granted a buyout, because there's zero reason for them to do it. It would be a terrible idea. Coming up, as always, we will close with some crunch time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I will weigh in. Lakers talk. Andy Kamenetzky, 710 ESPN.
Travis Rogers into Marco Farr.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
Once you cross 5-0, things change. Your perspective changes.
That's very true.
So he's a newbie. Did
it happen for you like in the moment of your 50th birthday? Because it for me, it was more of a slow transition to where your priority, all of a sudden, it's like you wake up one morning and it's like, My priorities are very different. The way that I'm interacting with people is very different.
Everything changed. Your
but
whole
on a dime or gradually?
I mean, probably that first year. Like, you start rethinking of things and going back and what you thought and what you knew and the rules you based your life on. You figure out that's kind of like BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to.
Right.
It's one of those, those things that I thought were 100% true.
Yeah, not even close.
Maybe not so much.
Right.
Travis and DeMarco tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco on 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Hey, it's me. As a sports fan, you always want your team to be well coached and to win. And you know who's always winning? My guy, Jacob. Think about it. If you've been injured in a car accident, a slip and fall at a store, rideshare accident, whatever it is, you feel like you lost. Call Jacob. He knows the opponent's weaknesses, how to exploit them, and attack the insurance company to provide you the win you deserve. 844-24-JACOB, or remember, calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Have you checked out the new Park West Bicycle Casino? Only 9 miles from downtown LA, right off the 710? The bike has been reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and 200 table games. On July 1st and July 15th, buy in for $100 and get $100 in Lucky Chips plus $50 in free play chips. ESPN listeners get $30 in match play when they walk in and say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. GAR-001291. 001289. 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Pick me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
All right, as always on Lakers Talk, we close out with some crunch time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I are going to weigh in. What you got, Funchy?
All right, I'm going to start with the biggest story probably last week with Damian Lillard getting stretched by the Milwaukee Bucks, and in turn, they signed Miles Turner to a big deal. So what do you think about that, and what do you think Damian Lillard's going to go to?
Well, first of all, I get it from the Bucks' perspective. This might be something they regret. Like, they're going to have 20-ish mil in dead money from Damian Lillard's contract. And they didn't buy him out, by the way. They just waived him. They gave him all his money, which is, I guess, a nice gesture to a player of Dame's stature.
Well, thank you for your 2 years here. Get out.
Yep. But they also couldn't make him do it if he didn't want to. This may not end up working for Milwaukee, but I at least understand the logic. They're trying to stay competitive so they can keep Giannis as a lifer. Miles Turner's a good player. And the East is pretty damn wide open. This could be the year of something fluky happening.
Go Hawks, baby.
I mean,
Go Hawks.
I thought something fluky happened last year in the East, man, or this past season in the East.
Sure, but, the Celtics aren't likely going to be in it without Tatum.
Yeah.
The Pacers have already confirmed that Halliburton's
He's
likely
out. He's
gonna
out for
miss
the year.
entire
Go
season.
Hawks, baby. I'm trying to tell you.
Go Hawks.
Oh, I'm telling you. That
Say
starting
that.
five
So
looks good for the East.
I should be buying the Atlanta Hawks stock then, huh?
They have had a good offseason, man.
They had.
They fleeced the Pelicans in that trade. Fleeced. So that worked out really well. We'll see. I get why they're doing it, even if it could end up something they regret. It's all about Giannis.
So Damian Lillard was coming to sign with the Lakers in February?
I hope not, only because the Lakers do not have the roster space to give to a guy of his age that likely isn't going to play this season.
I see him going to Miami.
He might. I would honestly be surprised if he signed with any team this season. It seems like he just wants to be around his family in rehab.
He can weigh his options, too. He's got all the leverage right now.
Right.
But I also could see him going to Golden State, coming home.
Sure, absolutely. But, Dame, if we are fortunate, and he's fortunate, will be ready to play around the playoffs. I don't think the Lakers can afford to use a roster spot on him this entire year.
All right, and then also we had a 3-team trade this morning with the Clippers sending out Norman Powell to Miami, and Miami getting nothing back, really, or whatever.
Norman Powell.
Oh, yeah, Norman Powell, sorry. And they're giving...
Put some respect on his name, Funchy.
I meant to say Utah. Utah, they got nothing back.
They don't
really.
want nothing.
Yeah, they didn't want nothing back. So, yeah, and the Clippers get John Collins.
Yeah.
So, who do you think the winner of that trade is?
I guess it depends on what Miami wants from Norm Powell moving forward. Also, I guess it depends on, do the Clippers get Bradley Beal? Because there's been a lot of speculation.
It looks like they're clearing the deck for something like that.
Yeah, there's
you don't just give up 20 points in your sleep to.
They didn't. I think they did not want to commit to Norm Powell an extension. You can get close to that from John Collins, he can score, but I think it's about keeping their cap clean for the next couple seasons. At some point, they're going to have to reset post Kawhi, post Harden.
John Collins has expanded his game a little. He steps out to the 3-point line, but he is a freak athlete.
Yes,
he jumps out the gym, and he has incredible leaping ability. He plays hard.
He's also got the face of an old-time jazz player. He looks like a guy that in the 60s played horn alongside Miles. That's his face. Look at John Collins.
He was part of the John Coltrane and Miles Davis group.
He was part of the John Coltrane quintet. He played,
and he was also in that famous picture in Harlem with all the jazz musicians.
Yes. I'm telling you, John Collins was there. We just don't realize it. All right. Thank you again to Mike Garcia. Thanks again to Sean Hyken. Thanks as always to DeAndre and Funchy. Thanks to everybody in the YouTube chat, everybody listening. We're going to be back next week. Unusual date for us. It's going to be July 17th.
What?
Thursday, July 17th at 6 p.m. The usual time slot, 6 to 8. But it's going to be on a Thursday because of next week's All-Star coverage.
Oh, wow.
So that's moving us about to next Thursday.